Welcome back everybody, this is Waste back with another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can use Adobe XD, which has become a free software from Adobe, to design, prototype and share and collaborate. So this is a great application. I tried lots and lots of application to create a prototype for my web application and for mobile applications. So I found this application to be the best and I'm going to create a tutorial for you guys. So welcome to this tutorial. Now this is what you see when you start Adobe XD. Now I'm not going to go through installation processor because if you know how to use computer, you should be able to install this and find this software online. Just gotta search for Adobe XD. I'll drop a link in the description. So this is the welcome screen when you open Adobe XD. For the first time, I've got two recent files here because I've used this before. So let's take a look at what we can do with this first. So here is a clock-in prototype. It's a web application that I'm creating a prototype. Now, what is a prototype? Basically, you want to write a code, yeah? So you want to create a web application, but you are actually trying to create a prototype first so you can visualize what you're actually creating. Just bear in mind that every software needs a prototype because it saves a lot of time. If you just start writing code, you might stuck into a problem where you don't know what you want to write about and what it's going to look like. So I created this basic prototype. Let's visualize this. So I'm going to click on this play button. This is going to bring up this preview. Now this is like a welcome screen for this prototype where I have this getting started button and a login button and just some gibberish here just to fill up the page. Now you want to create a prototype where you click on the button or a link and this should take you to the next screen. So this is how you can see how a link or button or any action from the user, what it's going to do, where it's going to take you. So if I click on getting started, it's taking me to this page where I have this email input field and then the submit button. If I have already account, I click on already have account. That takes me to the login page. I click on login. It takes me to this page. I have to get out from this and start this again for you. So I was on the login page. I have this, register button, which takes me to the register page. Go back to login, click on forgot password, and this is like a forgot password. So you can see that what button does what, where it's going to take you, what action it's going to perform. So I have two sections here, design and a prototype. If I click on prototype and select everything, you see the lines. You see the lines linking to an action or navigation from screen to screen for your web application. And this application has been really great. I've tried lots and lots of applications, but none of them did the job for me. This is my opinion, but let's take a look at how we can create this kind of screen. First of all, I would like to give you an overview of the software. So right on the top, we have a menu bar where you have a file menu, general options like creating a new file, opening or open from computer, because you get to store your application, or sorry, not application, but this prototype on the cloud if you have a Adobe CC account. Recent export, import, we get to these in a while. So we have an edit option, undo, redo, generic things, objects where we have group objects together, ungroup, lock, hide. So I would like to close this. So let's go and click on close. And I would like to start a new file, a new project. Here we have some options from template section where I can create an iPhone X and XS template, an iPad, web, or you can even define the custom width and height for your web app. Here we have some begin tutorial. This basically is going to open up this XD tutorial, which shows you what's possible. We have some add-ons that you can search for, like, we have lots and lots of plugins and, a lot of add-ons that you can use for free, like material design kit. I click on this, button, download button, and it should download that into my software. And here it opened up this, project, which has pretty much all of, components from a material. So you can copy paste from this. It's already pre-built for you. This is great as well. Let's close it. I'm going to use the shortcut key Command W to close this. We go to home and I'm going to start a new web project by clicking on this web. Let's click on this. It's going to open up this empty page. We have no assets, colors, characters, nothing there. It's a fresh project that I just created in front of you. So first of all, let's take a look at this sidebar. So sidebar, this is the first, which basically a selection tool which you can select elements on your page. We have a rectangle, circle, triangle, line, pen tool, text, and this button gets you to create a new page here. We have some search options here as well. At the bottom here, we have this Artboard. So this is like an artboard. In Adobe XD, you call it Artboard. So we only have one. I'm actually going to go and press V to select this selection tool. So I'll just double click on this and I'll rename this to home page. Okay. Now we get to see in Artboard, the name has been changed to home page. This is great. Now, if you use any graphics tool, even the Microsoft Paint or any paint application, you can create rectangles, circles, and triangles and line and use the pen tool as well. So let's start with a rectangle. So I'm going to select the rectangle. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click and hold the mouse button down and just draw a header for my web app. Okay. Now that's done. I'm going to select another rectangle, create another rectangle to for the sidebar probably, and then you have a rectangle for your working area. Now let's apply some colors. You can even rename these rectangles. So first of all, I'll just double click on this in my artboard section. So I'll name it header. That one would be sidebar, and then this is like a content area. Okay, so now I'll go here and select the selection tool. I'm gonna click on this vertex and I'm just gonna make it bigger and align it like this. Okay, let's select this one and then go bring it up. Now let's do some coloring here. So I'm gonna select this one. On the right side, we have a properties panel where you can see the properties of your current selection. So I've selected a rectangle. Here we have some aligning options where I can align top, align middle, align at the bottom. So if I click on this, it's gonna align that at the bottom. So I'll just press Control Z on Windows and Command Z on Mac for undo. Next we have align to horizontal lines, align left, center, and right as well. So if I click on this one, it's just not going to do anything because it's covering the whole width. So here it's telling me the width and height for this, x-axis and y-axis. So here the coordinate starts from top right. We can flip it by using this button, horizontal flip or vertical flip. You're not going to see anything here because it's just a rectangle. Even though we flip it, it's just going to show the same. Now we have responsive resize. You can do a manual resize where you can select some of the width and height here. I'm going to leave it auto. Appearance is basically an opacity for your element. Here we have some button for radius. So you see vertices on the left where you can select and then increase the width and height. But here you can see you have a middle button. If I click and hold, it's just going to make the corner round. Okay. And we'll do something like this. This is gonna make look nicer, I guess. Yeah. And then for the sidebar, yes, we do that as well. Now I'm doing manually, but you can actually select this element and then you can do that by passing the value here. So you can see the value. I'm gonna give it let's just say 60, which is all right. Let's select this rectangle. I'm gonna give it 60 as well. So things look pretty identical. Now you can see you don't have to go and do coding straight away because that's gonna waste a lot of time for you without knowing what you're gonna develop. So this is like a home page. I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna give it a color. So let's do something like, probably I'll keep that bluish like here. and I'm gonna make it a bit bright here. That's nice. Okay, for the sidebar, we're gonna have the same color. I'm gonna select this one, click on this fill, copy this hex code. Let's go here and then click on fill and paste the hex code there as well. Okay, now that was a bit different. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, that's because opacity is down. All right, now this one would be something like, you know, that color. So this is like, you know, writing a prototype for application. So if you press Command and move the mouse wheel down, it's going to zoom out, and zoom in if you move the mouse wheel up. Now this is like one screen for that. I'm going to create two buttons right on the top here. So for the buttons, we can create using a rectangle, circle, or anything. I can go to this button, and here I have plugins which are installed here, right? So if I click on this widget for XD, this is a plugin that you install. Now I'm going to show you how you can install these plugins by going to these plugins and then click on a manage plugin. This is where you can go to install plugins. You can see all these plugins that I've installed, or go to all plugin and click on search here. You can select the category of feature or popular. So if I say popular, what is popular in Adobe XD market? So here we have UI faces, a calendar, web export. There's a bunch of plugins available that you can use. So I'm going to click on this XD, and here I can see I have some, you know, pre-built elements. So I'm going to select this button. Now this is an error, it says select the artboard. Well, I didn't select it, but anyway, I'll press V and I'm gonna move this somewhere here. Okay, now I can change the fill for this if you want to, but let's leave it like that. We're gonna select this, press Command C and V to make a copy of this. And here I'm gonna create a login button. So just double click on the text and write a text for login. Okay, and then we click on register. That's another button. So I'm going to select this one and select this one. I'm going to try aligning this center by using this align tool. And then here I'm going to select this login as well. Let's click on this center. It's going to align that center. Okay. So let's do a text here. So let's select this text. Click here. And I'm going to say home page. And we can select this and change the color to, let's just say, white. And I'm going to make it a bit bold. So here's a regular, and then we select the bold here. Now, as you can see that we select an element and the properties panel change according to our current selection. Now, in the text tool, I'm not going to go into details of this tool, because if you know how to use computer, you should be able to figure out these. These are like, if you know, use a Word, Microsoft Word, you should be able to see these options. Here we have a bold, you know, change the font style, a size of that. I'll keep that to, let's say, 40. Too big. Let's just do 35. All right. Now, appearance, a background blur. And, you know, mark for export is like when you export this project, it's gonna separately export this element as well. So we have a shadow option. Let's do a bit of shadow here. Select it, and then you have to, you know, make it how dark it is. Make this dark. Now the color scheme is pretty bad, I understand that, but this is not what we're doing here. We're just trying to understand how we can use this tool. So similarly, I'm going to click on this button. And then here I can select the template for my new artboard. So I'm making a website, so I'll click on this web, and that's going to create another one for me. So it created two. I'm going to press Command 0 to zoom to fit. So all of these commands are here. So you can see I use this one, zoom to fit all, Command 0. So if you want to zoom to selection, we're going to select this one. Oop. I'm still on this tool, so that's why it's creating it. I'm going to press V, select this one, Command 3 to zoom into this page. Now here we are going to create a login page. So I'm going to double click on this, and let's change the name to login. So if I go to this button, click on this, and here we have two artboards, homepage and a login. Here I'm just going to design something like a rectangle in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to, you know, make a bit of round circles. Let's select this one and this one, align it to the center, and center in the middle as well. Here, let's do a bit of shadow there, which makes it look nicer a bit. I'm gonna make it a bit darker, and then give a width of, let's just say 9. That should. And then we do a bit of blur as well. Let's just say 10. Yep, that looks nice card there. Here we have a border for this. I'm gonna just, remove the border. And also for the shadow, I'll just do 9 there as well. Maybe 0 should do it. Okay, now that's the card that we created. And now here we are going to create an input field. Now there's a manual way of creating an input field, or you can use a plugin, widgets for XD. So here we have snack bar, context bar. I want to find if I can have like a text bar. Let's click on this, and it's just going to put that here because I didn't select that. So just bring it here and make it bigger. Okay, and we can type email here for the text. Let's put it here, copy paste, make it a password input field, and that should be all right. I'm going to click on this rectangle. Now there is a reason why I am creating input field after creating a text. So I'm just going to put it here, copy paste, press V, bring it down. Now the reason why I did this, because I want to show you another thing here. Now we're going to go to layers. So here I hover over, the shortcut key for that is Command Y. So use that from now on. Now here, I'm going to select this artboard and press Command 3 to zoom to this one. Now here you can see I can select an artboard here. We have 2 artboards, homepage and a login. I'm going to click on the login and actually double click on it on this icon, not on a text, because text will basically turn on the renaming for your artboard. But I'm going to click on this one. It's going to take me inside this, and it's going to zoom to fit automatically. Now here you can see if I'm trying to select the email text, which I want to be on the top of this, and it's not, for that I would like to show you here. We have all the components. I can select email from here, but not on the artboard because it's behind the rectangle. So now I will go and click on this, and I'm going to move this right on the top. Now you can see the layer has been moved up, and now I can see the email as well, and I can select it, and I can just move it by clicking on holding the mouse button down. Now the password has to be up as well, so now we have a password. That's good. I'm going to select these 2 rectangles, and I can just scale them or resize them. Let's select this one and make it a bit round there. Make it a bit around there as well. All right, cool. That's all good. Now, you know how you can select elements, and by moving these up and down, what happens? So things come up. So what are the things on top will be on a Z index, the higher Z index, if you talk about CSS language. The next we have a password. Now here I'm going to change that to input field, so I know that's actually not input field. I will say email field to see what is the email field, and I'm going to change the name for that to password field. Okay, now let's move this up, and now it's all good. All right, next we're going to create a button. We can use that widget if you guys want to use that widget. I'm just going to create a button with the rectangle, right? So let's do a button here. Let's make it a bit round, or let's make it a bit bigger as well. And now I'm going to select the text tool and just click here, and I say login. Let's press V and align it in the middle. Okay, now you can see I have this login button. Now that color, I would like to change that a bit of color here as well for a fill. So I'm just going to probably move my cursor here. That's too dark. Let's make it a bit, that color is kind of nice now. Okay, so we got our login page done. And then I'm going to just create another one. Let's do Artboard. Let's select it. And I'm just going to press V. zoom out, and then I'm going to move it here, something like that. Let's rename this to register, and now I'm gonna click on this one. And now I would like to, group these elements. I don't want to select this one by one, because once I'm done with this, I can, select everything by going to the layer menu, go to login, and let's just select everything. Okay, let's copy those now, and we are going to paste them here. Now here I've definitely wants to create more forms. So now, first of all, let's go back actually and go to login page, and let's select everything. I'm going to right click and I'm going to group them together. Next time when I select this, it will select the whole thing. So here you can see in the login, we have a group one. That's all right. Now let's go to register one. Here I'm going to show you another cool option here. Just stay with me. I'm not doing a repeat thing. I'm just going to show you where things can be used. So I'm just going to delete this one. And I would like to move this button a bit down. Let's increase the size for this as well. Let me align the center. Okay. Now here, I would like to select this outer card, right click and lock it. So I don't have to, select this again. It's not going to cause any issues when I move this, as you can see here. Now here, I would like to create multiple fields here. So I'm going to select these two, and here's an option for repeat grid. This is one of the cool options that I like about this tool. I'm going to click on repeat grid, and that becomes a repeat grid. So if I move this down, you can see it's creating more forms for me. Nice. And it's a grid now. So here I would like to change the name to, let's just say name. And here I will say company for your sign up. And let's just do an email. Next one would be password. Confirm password field. And here we can say company size. And then here we can say, what is the last thing that you want to do? Type of the company. Okay. Then here we change the name to sign up. Let's select this button, make it bigger. That's cool. And also we're going to have this button, copy paste, put them here. And I'm going to change this to already have account. And that should take us to login page now. Let me just get rid of that. And we're going to make this link. First of all, let's make this smaller, 22. And I'm going to put it here. With the text color would be, let's just do a bit of greenish here. Okay, nice. And then let's just select this button. Let's copy this, paste it here. Actually, I don't want to copy this here. So we'll create another one from here. So this is in the group. So right click and say ungroup. That's all right now. Let's right click and lock this up. Oh, I locked everything. So let's select and unlock these things. Let's select this, copy paste, bring it down. And here we'll leave that a button register. Let's select this, align it in the center. And you can make it bigger as well if you want to. Oop. Let's do, now I'm gonna have to bring it here now. Okay, so guys, we have 3 screens ready. Now you can see how I create them. Now let's make a workflow. So what I would like to do is I would like to go to, login page when I click on login button, and I would like to go to register page when I click on login button. So now we're going to go click on prototype, and here if I select the login button, you see the arrow pops up. I'll click and hold the button and then leave that on the login page. I select this register, go up to register page, done. Now here I'll select this one, I go to register, and then already have an account. Will take us back to login. Okay, a sign up will take us to the dashboard, so I will just create that. So I'll click on display button. Now here we are in a login in a home page or website. Let's click on login, that takes me to login. Click on register, that takes me to register. Already an account goes back to login page. Now you can see how we create a prototype. So once you select any element, that will have this pop-up where you will have a click event and you can go to the next screen. Now, this is a great way of creating your prototype very, very quickly. So you can give it to the UX and then he can see, hey, this guy wants the register button on the bottom right of this card, a login button right below the password field, what kind of form that he wants to design. So if you're a project manager or actually a developer or project lead, whatever you are, you want to create a prototype, and this is an amazing tool. So let's go quickly over what are the other options available for us. So I'm going to click on this design, and here I can go here and just apply a few things. So let's click on circle. You can draw a circle here. Let's delete it. You can draw triangles. That's done. A line is there as well. So you see all these properties are similar kind of properties that you can use. The good tool is a pen tool. A pen tool lets you create any kind of, diagram. So here I would like to create some sort of an arrow, some sort of like a message. That's good. Let's go up here and let's straight it up by pressing Shift key. And then just join it up. And here I can have a fill color where I can select this one. Okay, and there you go. It's like a icon or whatever you want to create with this pen tool. Now if I select this pen tool and I just double click on this, I can change the vertices. Now if I press Option Control, you'll see you have some different kind of options there. So if I press hover over to this line, it lets me add another vertex. So let's move it here. And if I double click on a vertex, it makes it circular. So I can hold the Option key and then, push it down or push it out, or I can just select this, select this vertex, and then, you can push it here. So yeah, you can create pretty much any kind of icon or whatever drawing you want to do using pen tool. Text we've seen, you can just click on the text tool, double click on that artboard, and it will let you write some text. Right, these are the layers that we've seen. You can go to register by clicking on this icon, and it'll show you all the elements available. You can select any element, you can name them. So here is this I will say main card. Probably this can be used for your CSS classes as well. It's your own convention. What are the convention that you want to do? The grid one is we can say it's a form, and yeah. And now by clicking on this button, you get to choose a template. Okay, if you don't choose any template, you click on this your workspace. It will just create another one with the previous one you selected. I'm just gonna press delete to delete this one. Okay, what else that we want to talk about is assets. Now, assets are a great way to create a reusable components, character styles, or colors for your project. Now, for example, you have created this input field. I'm going to press V to select this. Now that's two of the selection. I want to use this input field throughout my application or throughout my prototype. Then I can create this as an asset. So later on, I will have to just select the component and drop it. Now, all the design of the web page or your mobile application should be identical. So if you spend a lot of time using pen tool and use this fill and to make a nice input field, then you can actually create an asset. So I'll just select this one, and I will click on this plus button, and that will basically make this as an asset. So I'll just rename this to input field. Okay, now I've created this an asset. So what I want to do is create another artboard. Let's select this, and now I'll just make this test artboard, and let's just say I want to use this input field. I don't have to copy paste again. I'll just click on this and drop it here. There we go. We have an asset. Now the cool thing about this component, let's just say I select this one and I create a fill here. Now once I create a fill, it applies the fill, Now the problem with that is because there are two things in this. So that two things cannot use this fill property. But if I select this and click on this border and change the border of this, still it's not actually changing anything because it's not letting you change the thing. So for that, I'm going to actually select this one, and that's, you can see it's an asset. Let's delete this asset. Okay, now I'm going to select this one. It's just the input field. I'm going to click on this component and I'll say input field. Okay, let's get rid of this as well. Let's drop the input field here. Okay, now this one, I would like to, have multiple of these. So I'll just draw a few of them. Now this has been used a lot of places. Now I made a mistake here by explaining a couple of things. Let me show you. So if I right click and click on this edit master component, and now if I change the border, as you can see what's happening. I'll do a fill here. So when I click on this edit master and I change the master, you can see it's not just applying to one element, it's applying to every element which was created using the component. Now this is great when you're using things like, throughout your application and you might want to change the appearance of that element. You can do that by, right clicking and edit master component, which is a great way of, changing a UX for, multiple elements. Okay, so this is great. Now you know how to create components. You can create colors as well for your own, styles. If I select this one and I have this color, I'm going to click on this plus button. Now you can see it has created a color for, I don't say what is it, but just you can rename it color 1 and then color 2. Now you have these two colors. Anytime you want to apply the color to it, so you can select this one and that will be applied. You can select this one to this. So it's basically reusable color. Now I've used this for both of these. Now if I right click and say edit and I change this, you can see both of them are changing color. So basically this is your reusable library that you can create. Character style is for text. You want to create a text reusable. I don't want to go into details now, but you can do that. Now that's done. We have seen the plugins. Now I'm gonna close this and I'm just gonna delete it. I don't want to store it. I'm gonna start by creating this iPhone access. Now I want to show you one cool plugin before we finish this video. This is called a wireframer. I'm going to select this and now I'm going to click on start, and now here you can see it has some pre-built pages for you. You can use them directly. So for example, you want to have some sort of settings. So let's click on plus button and there you go, you have a settings. Okay, so the iPhone settings are here. Next we have some charts there. I can select the charts there. A menu bar, there we go. So you want to create this menu bar as a home. So if I click and then just play this, that brings up this iPhone, and I can click on this button and then animate this letter. That's for the later video. You can actually do the animation here as well in Adobe XD. I'm not gonna cover those in this video, but yeah. Now, last thing I would like to show you is something in the prototype where you can select this and you can choose which one is your home screen. So for example, if I select this, I click on this home, and now I deselect everything and click on the play button. Now this one comes at my home page. Okay, if I don't create any links with these artboards. Okay, so this is like a really cool extension that you can use to create pretty much sign up pages here as well. Okay, and you can modify it depending on your own fields, titles. Yeah, this is amazing. There's lots and lots of options available to choose from. Feel free to explore this extension. Contacts today, you guys, let go. Your iPhone style contact. Now this is one extension. I would like to show you a couple more. So material palette basically lets you create some material colors, which is great. It's right in here. You don't have to worry about, going to the website and choosing the colors. But I do recommend that you go to this plugin menu and click on Discover Plugin. And here you can choose or probably Google about the plugins that are available. I found there's a lot of plugins available on this, like a Jira Cloud, that you can link this to, Bitbucket account or Jira, that people can, take a task from here and then, work on it. Yeah, I do recommend you go ahead and then take a look at. One extension here is icon symbols. If I just say person, now I can select this iOS person, I can select this material person or open person. So I'll select this iOS add person. Let's select this one and then click on this add person. There you go. I have got an icon sitting there. Let's select this one and I can add an event here to this page. All right. So this is cool. I would highly recommend to actually check out some extensions as well. And sharing options, we'll talk about this. So we basically send this to anyone who you want to share. They're gonna need an Adobe ID for that. All right, so this is where we end our tutorial. I've pretty much shown you everything's available in Adobe XD. We got to cover some animation topic, which I will create another video for that. And if you like this video, let me know in the comments below. Like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.